Howdy, gang. It's Chris Angel coming at you for another episode of Marketing for the Rest of Us. Tonight, at the time of this recording, it is Thanksgiving. Happy Thanksgiving. Assuming you're watching this or listening to this on the podcast, then it is after that date, but the lesson still applies. So here's the deal, gang. I don't know if you're in my shoes, but I ate too much. And if you've been following the show for a while, you know that I have lost 16 pounds in the last 4 weeks, right? In the last 4 weeks. Whoa. Oh, hang on. That was a live sneeze for all of you who are worried about perfection. So there you go. So I've lost 16 pounds in the last 4 weeks, which is great. I started at 185. I'm down to 169. And today, I had a cheat meal. Breakfast was good. Lunch was on point. And then dinner was a free-for-all. And by free-for-all, I mean I just went all in. I probably had as much food in that dinner meal than I would have in 3 meals in one day. So halfway through, I was like, oh. I didn't get the food sweats, but I was like, oh, I could feel it. I can feel that. And it's interesting, right? Like when you push yourself so far into this into the realm of freedom. Listen, freedom is one of my main themes in life. I love freedom. Freedom is my thing. And so sometimes plans, structures, models can feel like the opposite of freedom. You can feel confined to the thing. And so when you get a taste of freedom, you're like, yes, more of this. And you kind of go all in on freedom, like I went all in on dinner tonight. But you go far enough into freedom and you start to realize that this isn't what you want. It's not that you don't want freedom, but that freedom in itself, like to just be free and have no structure, actually leaves you in a pickle, right? Like for me tonight, I was like, oh man, I can't backtrack what I just ate. Like I can't let go of the food I ate and feel better. I feel full and I feel a little bit miserable. Some of you have gone so far into freedom in business and marketing and just doing whatever you want, whenever you want, that if you're honest about it, in some ways, it's creating some misery for you around not knowing what to do, feeling like you should be doing more. And for me, tonight, having dinner, I was like, man, I really appreciate my food plan. The food plan I've been following the last 4 weeks. I'm like, I really appreciate this food plan. And I can't wait to get back to it tomorrow, right? Like tomorrow I'll have my normal food plan. I'll have energy. It'll feel good. But here's the good news, right? Sometimes going out of your plan and exploring contrast, as Abraham Hicks would say, right? Exploring contrast, exploring the different things out there in life helps you know what it is you really want. If you don't explore contrast, sometimes it's hard for you to know what you really want. But doing this plan for the last, let's see, it's really been 3 weeks. I did a week of practice, but it's really been out 3 weeks. Doing this food plan has really helped me have energy. I've really appreciated the routine it's given me. Exploring contrast tonight with this cheat meal, and being miserable, like really, I'm like, okay, like in the past, maybe that's it. Like for a long time, I was so far into freedom. I was so far into just freedom. I'm going to do whatever I want. And so I did. And then the flip side is I would go into structure for a short amount of time and be like, no, I don't like that. And I go back to freedom. What's different here with the food thing is I've been doing the structure. It's the opposite, right? I've been in structure for what feels like a long time, which like 3 weeks, but that's not a long time. But 3 weeks has been solid. And then I went one night into freedom, and I'm like, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I want. Doesn't mean I won't have a cheat meal or a free meal some night, but it's definitely helping me find my preferences. Like, what do I prefer? What do I actually want? And so for some of you tonight in business and marketing, right? Like, that's the question, is what do you really want? Some of you are clinging to the notion of freedom because it's just freedom, but it's actually not what you want. I mean, you want freedom, but the way you're experiencing it right now, absent of structure, absent of routine, absent of producing a result, the thing you're clinging to, now see, like, look, for years I clinged to the notion of freedom because it was freedom, not because of what it was giving me, but because I was so involved and absorbed and infatuated with the idea of freedom, not because of what it was producing for me. In fact, I wasn't producing a lot, right? I was so enamored with freedom. I'm like, screw production. I'll just be free. But what? For what? So some of you, here's where you need to look, right? Here's the lesson. You need to look at what is it that you really want. Now, it might require that you explore the edges. You explore some contrast. You might have to do something different. You might have to indulge in a cheat meal. You might have to indulge in something you haven't dared to do for a while, only to realize that you are so thankful for and appreciate the way it was. Or vice versa. But listen, I can't answer that for you. What I am present to, though, is that there is something that you cling to for the sake of clinging to it, for the ideology of it, like freedom, like the word freedom, or love, or whatever it is. And it actually might not be serving you. It might actually be standing in the way of you producing the result you want to produce. For me in business and marketing, for years, freedom was the ideology I clinged to, but it was undermining and sabotaging me producing a result. So rather than surrendering to a framework and a structure and a model, I was like, screw that, I'm going to do my own thing. And what did I produce? Not much. And what was it like for me emotionally when I didn't produce much? It was completely exhausting. I felt like I should be so much further than I am. I felt behind. I felt stupid. But for some odd reason, I was willing to stay feeling stupid in the name of freedom. At some point, we have some old ideologies that need to be replaced. So, that's the question for you tonight. What is the ideology you've been holding on to for a long time because it meant something to you once upon a time, but it's no longer serving you? That's the lesson. That's where you need to look right now. In business and marketing, what's the ideology you've been holding on to? Maybe it's like, marketing and funnels are done. Or maybe it's money is bad. Or maybe it's, I'm not sure what it is for you. You need to look. You need to look. Only you can answer that. But here's what I know. As you start to clarify what it is that you really desire. It's a hard question to answer when somebody asks you, like, well, what do you want? What do you want? What do you really want? What do you want? Right? Here I'm hearing the Notebook now with Noah. No, what do you want? It could be a hard question to answer. And sometimes to answer that, it requires exploring contrast. Explore the differences, explore the edges, explore dark and light, and see what fits. But at some point, you're going to need to, if you don't explore, it's going to be hard. Let me say it this way: the faster you explore, the faster you find what it is you really prefer. And from that, you can start to make some choices for your life, for your business, for your family, that actually serve you, that actually make you happy and joyful. Because it, like me and my food plan, I feel better. I feel better when I'm on that plan. So, here's to you finding what makes you feel better. If you're interested in a framework to follow, that might help you explore contrast, but still give you structure, I invite you to my 6-week program called the Groundswell Method Intensive. And you apply for the program. There's only 25 people that get in at a time. It's 6 weeks. And to apply for the program and learn more about it, you would start with my course called Marketing for the Rest of Us, the course, at groundswellmethod.com, groundswellmethod.com. Okay, gang, that's it. Happy Thanksgiving. Have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow.